If you're Kirby Smart and Brian McClendon, you have to love what you are seeing out of your three wide receiver commitments through the first 2 weeks of the high school football season. Of course, the Dogs have three guys on board right now. Four-star Nitro Tuggle, who plays up in Indiana. Four-star NiCar, who plays at Colquitt County down in South Georgia. And then Sakovi White, who plays up at Cass High School in North Georgia. All of these guys are tearing it up right now for their high school to start the 2023 season. That's what this video is all about. I've written multiple stories. I wrote a story on Nitro Tuggle, his big week 1 performance. NiCar wrote about his monster week 2 performance from this past weekend. Make sure to head over to Dog Post to read everything that I've already written. Now, time to talk about it. These guys are playmakers for sure. Let's start with NiCar, kid out of Colquitt County, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He is electric. He had 4 touchdowns this past weekend. I believe it was against Tift County. Probably should have written that down in my notes, but I didn't. I do have his numbers though. In week 2, he had 11 catches, 152 yards, 4 touchdowns. He can stretch the field vertically, but what I liked most about what he did in week 2 was in the screen game. There was a screen pass thrown to him that he had to reach out and snag with one hand, stayed balanced, stayed on his feet, and just took off like a jet through the defense, zigzagging his way to the end zone. I mean, he is incredibly quick. He's explosive. He's got great burst and great hands as well. He was making a couple, AJ Green, George Pickens type of catches down the sidelines, down the field, in the end zone. When you think he's covered, he can just turn around and naturally make a play on the football. NiCar is going to bring more speed to Georgia's offense. There's no doubt about it. He can help you, again, in the screen game, down the field vertically. He is awesome. Had a big week 1 as well. But in total, he's caught 18 passes already, 288 yards, 6 touchdowns, again, through just 2 weeks of the season, averaging 3 touchdowns a week so far. It is really, really impressive. And it's not like they've got some Power 5 quarterback throwing to him down there. Landon Thomas is a 5-star tight end committed to Florida State, one of his teammates as well. So there's talent on that Packers offense, but they want to keep going to NiCar. Big deal. I'll touch back on NiCar a little bit in this video. But before I talk about Nitro Tuggle, the best wide receiver of the 3, in my opinion, I want to plug the newsletter. Again, you can read all about this and more over on Dog Post. It's free to sign up. The newsletter is in the link below, if I can get the words out. A lot of free stories over on Dog Post, and not a lot of free stories at some of these other places, but at Dog Post, we do free stories. And if you sign up to the newsletter, you get an email with all the stories that we've written, not only that day, but in previous days. So don't miss any. Sign up to that newsletter down below. And you can read about Nitro Tuggle and his monster game in week 1 against Jimtown. Are you kidding me? Jimtown? I wish there was a Jimtown in Georgia right down the street. That's an awesome name. But Nitro Tuggle went off on old Jimtown, caught 8 passes, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is a special player, in my opinion. I think he should probably push for 5-star status. There's a lot of really good wide receivers across the country, and Georgia's not going to land a 5-star. Jeremiah Smith is not going to Georgia. He's with Ohio State. Mike Matthews, in-state kid, decided to commit to Tennessee over Georgia. Amari Jefferson was recruited by Georgia. He signed with Alabama. But Nitro Tuggle could end up being as good as those guys. 6'3", 185 pounds. He is so fun to watch with the ball in his hands. And he can go up and snag it. One of the touchdowns was a post where he just left the defender on his butt. Defender fell down. I mean, he gave him a little shake and bake, went to the end zone, and then went up and snagged a ball for a touchdown. But he can create separation. He runs a great route. He gets open. And when he's got room to run with the football, he's going to take off for a big gain. That's what he does best. But he also can bring that George Pickens effect where he can go up and snag the ball. If you got 2 guys on him, you throw it up to Nitro Tuggle, there's still a decent chance he comes down with the football. Sees it well into his hands, puts it away. But in the screen and short passing game, he gets that ball and he knows how to turn upfield and just explode. He's a natural runner, just knows how to make defenders miss, right? He just has a feel for the game, feel for running and staying away and eluding defenders. But At this level right now, playing up in Indiana, not against great competition, he's taking the ball, going backwards, going across the field and going 20, 30 more yards. It's fun to watch. He's not going to be able to do that in the SEC, where he sees where the play's supposed to go. It's not there. The defense read it well, and are able to stop it. And he can just zigzag his way, I'll just run faster than everyone else all over the field and find my way to the end zone. Not going to happen against the best of the best in the country, but it's fun to watch now. And he does have that natural playmaking ability, and he's very, very good. And in week 2, he had 4 catches for 66 yards, 2 more touchdowns, but his team won 49-7. So it's not like they were airing it out to him a lot in the second half. So monster week 1, 8 catches, 150, just under that, 2 touchdowns, 2 more touchdowns on just 4 catches last weekend, and a massive win. He is a go-to target. If you're a Georgia fan in Indiana, I don't know where Northwood is. I've only been to Indiana twice. It was both for work. We drove through Indiana to Chicago when we went to cover the Georgia-Notre Dame game. And, of course, we were there in Indianapolis to watch Georgia beat Alabama for the national championship. But I don't know where Nitro Tuggle is playing. Maybe it's in Indianapolis. Maybe it's not. But he is worth the price of admission to watch him play. The highlights are insane. You can watch those, again, over on Dog Post. We don't have the rights to show them on YouTube. I wish they were coming across the screen, but we didn't take that video, and we only feel comfortable putting the video over this that we have taken ourselves. I will go watch Sakovi White play at Cartersville next month, but let's talk about Sakovi White, right? 5'9", 170. Not real big, but he is incredibly productive, incredibly athletic, can play multiple sports. He caught 5 passes for 68 yards in the first game. Tough game, I think it was against Rome when they lost. But then Friday, he had 7 catches for 125 yards, and I believe he had a touchdown. I think they lost that game too, but it's not because of him, because he is a great pass catcher, playmaker. He's a guy who can contort his body to make a big play. He plays bigger than his size, can really jump. I had one of his coaches send me video of him just dunking a basketball in the offseason, and he just flies up into the air and can kind of stay up there. He's got that Air Jordan type to him where he jumps up and he kind of can hang there for a second before coming back down, and he uses that little time to snag the football in the air. He can go get it. Another guy who plays the sideline well, make sure he gets a foot or 2 in bounds, and when he's coming down with the ball, can keep his feet in bounds. He does a good job of that, but the ability to make an acrobatic catch is something he's good at. He also plays defense, a great defensive back. He had an interception in the last game as well. One of the better overall athletes in North Georgia, and Cass is coming along. They're right up there. I believe it's in White, Georgia, Bartow County, in the Cartersville area. A lot of young talent. They're going to be a better program, and they're going to play a lot better throughout this season, I think. There's just too much talent, and Sakovi White is a big reason why. Just a very reliable, dependable option. Just a 3-star kid, but he's told me in the past, he goes, I don't care what the rankings say. I'm tough. I'm a competitor. I love to work. I love to get better, and I think I'm a pretty good athlete and a pretty good receiver, and the numbers and the play overall back it up. If you go watch him, he's going to make plays. He's going to make an impact. There's no game where he goes away. If you see him, I've seen him in 7-on-7. I've seen him, in scrimmages, in games. He always comes to play. And so quick math, that's 12 catches for just under 200 yards. And I think he has 1 touchdown. He might have 2. An interception on defense, plays both ways, loves the game, loves to compete. And he's a guy that I think is going to surprise a lot of people. The Georgia staff, they're taking him for a reason. They accepted his commitment for a reason. They offered him for a reason, and he tore up a 7-on-7 camp at Georgia. This was 2 summers ago now. They offered him right then and there, and as far as from what I remember, it didn't take him long to jump on board and commit. He's been solid ever since. He loves Georgia, can't wait to be a Bulldog, and he certainly looks like a Georgia Bulldog target through the first 2 weeks of the season. So NiCar going off, 6 touchdowns in the first 2 games. Nitro Tuggle, 4 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Sakovi White making play after play. These guys don't have 5 stars next to their name, but they are putting up some 5-star performances so far in through the first 2 weeks of the high school season. This is a solid trio. I think Georgia ideally would like to take one more because they only took 3 in last year's cycle: Tyler Williams, Anthony Evans, and Zeed Haynes. But if it's just these 3, I think Georgia fans should be happy with these 3. They can make plays. They all bring speed, natural playmaking ability, and reliable, dependable hands to the position. So Georgia's got 3 good ones, and they're playing extremely well right now. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to sign up to that newsletter. Again, that link is down below so you don't miss any of the content we are putting out. Your boy from the playroom. Thanks for watching.